Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. I am your host, Sean Hayes. With me is my wonderful co-host, as always, Courtney Bolin.
Hey, everybody.
So Courtney is feeling well enough to do the podcast, but not well enough to face all of you out in virtual Wonderland. So she's not doing video tonight, but that's okay. Tonight is basically our annual E3 episode, where we talk about all the nonsense that video game companies are announcing for the upcoming year. So that's going to be the name of the game tonight. We don't have any other plans to talk about anything else. Quickfire news is literally like all of the announcements that we thought were nice, and then our deep dive is going to be just how we feel and what we think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, also probably timely because there's just a lot going on in personal space. So, yeah. But before we begin, I would like to point out, I mean, as always, the worst part about this year's E3, again, as always, is the audience.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like it wasn't a super exciting one. Not like what was it, 2017, where we got like the wild Smash reveals that like were having everybody, out of their seats, and the Metroid Prime 4 announcement and things like that. But there's also there's been worse ones. So, there's definitely been some interesting stuff, to say the least. And I mean, as far as Nintendo goes, like almost everything they announced, with a few exceptions, is coming out this year. So, and I think that's part of their strategy these days, is like, even at E3, they're only going to focus on like the next few months.
Yeah.
And they'll just do a direct like in the fall and say like, oh, and here's more stuff. So,
yeah.
Do you want to get right into it?
I say we jump right in.
All right, first up, this one I wanted to bring up. So, Galvanic is releasing a multiplayer sandbox game that is called Wizard with a Gun, and it's just wizards with guns.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful. And we are also going to be getting a Guardians of the Galaxy game coming out. An EIDOS? EIDOS, okay. Yeah, it's going to be released, EIDOS game to be released later this year.
That is also coming to Switch. Not by Telltale, by EIDOS Interactive.
Yes.
It was part of the Square Enix showcase.
Nice.
So Acid Nerve is producing an isometric action RPG called Death's Door, where you play as a crow with a hookshot. Because you play as like a kind of like a Kenku with a hookshot type weapon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So there is going to be a new first-person game coming out entitled Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, where you play as a Na'vi. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what that was about. But Sea of Thieves is getting... Oh, that's why. Okay, Cordy's back. All right. Sea of Thieves is getting DLC, free DLC, titled A Pirate's Life, releasing on June 22nd, which is an official Pirates of the Caribbean crossover. So it heavily features Jack Sparrow. It's going to have Davy Jones, Tia Dalma, Mr. Gibbs, and something where they all start invading the Sea of Thieves on some sort of adventure, and you got to help Jack find whatever treasure. We'll talk more about that later.
Yes. Next we have Psychonauts 2 will be releasing in August on Xbox. So that's coming right up. That will
Yes.
be fun.
Next up, Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Yeah, Square Enix is not disappointing with their naming conventions. This is what is purported to be a Final Fantasy 1, like the first Final Fantasy remake, by Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja. So like an action RPG kind of in the style of 15, that is just super dark and super edgy. So like if you took Final Fantasy 15 and you crossed it with Dark Souls, and made it by Team Ninja, that's what this game would be.
Sounds good. So next up, probably one of the funnier things to come out of E3 this year. Um, Xbox is making an actual mini fridge that will be available for purchase this holiday season. Um, yeah, from the video I saw, it fits like a 12 pack and then a couple maybe of sodas, like
Yeah.
regular size sodas. So that's going to be.
Yep.
You joked about it and then it became real.
I think because I want to say we talked about it before, but I think we all thought it was a joke.
Yeah, well, we also thought the KFC bucket was a joke.
Yeah, that's true. Next up, so this is we're starting to get into the Nintendo news. Tekken's Kazuya is going to be the next Smash fighter. So Tekken's going to get some representation in the game.
Fun. Next up we have Mario Party Superstars, which is going to be a collection of favorite boards and mini games from Mario Party. I'm excited about that one. I like Mario Party.
There is a sequel for Mario and Rabbids called Sparks of Hope that is going to be releasing in 2022. This is going to take place in space. So we're also going to see Rabbid Rosalina along with Rabbid Lumens. You know, Rosalina's little star buddies. There's Rabbid versions of those, complete with the horrifying face and ears.
I don't know how I even feel about that. That's
it is cursed. It is cursed.
Well, something that is coming to Switch is going to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are finally coming over to Switch. So that is nice.
Yeah. And that's from Vicarious Visions, who worked on the first port.
Yeah.
I think it's still from Vicarious Visions over in Albany. So
nice.
And yes, Mario and Rabbids was really good. But we'll talk more about it in the deep dive on some of the changes that they're doing. Next up, Metroid Dread surprise announcement. Nintendo in Nintendo fashion. This game apparently was canned like 15 years ago, and Stealth resurrected it with a different development studio than Retro. So this is a 2D Metroid game set to be Metroid 5. So it takes place directly after Fusion, that releases on October 8th. We're definitely going to talk more about this.
Yes, there are many people who have many feelings about that.
Related, Metroid Prime 4 still in development. It hasn't been scrapped. It's just still in development.
Okay. And we are getting a remastered collection of Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania for the 20th anniversary.
So we've talked about this a little bit before in past episodes, but Monster Hunter Stories 2 gonna have crossover content with Monster Hunter Rise. That's not exactly new information. A demo is going to be available next Friday on June 25th.
Nice.
So if you've never played Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter Stories before, like me, you'll be able to demo the game, and that data you'll be able to carry that data over.
That's always nice when you can do that. So next up, we're getting another port to Switch of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and a new power awakens on September 24th.
Um,
So
Also releasing on June 25th, Mario Golf Super Rush.
yeah,
This is basically a Mario Golf adventure game. Like, it has a campaign mode that has RPG stuff going on with it.
I don't understand how golf can have an adventure mode.
We are totally going to talk about it, Courtney, and I'm going to
Yep.
sell you on why everyone should play this game.
Okay, sure. Are you also going to be selling me on the new WarioWare game that is coming out? WarioWare Get It Together, because you have a little bit of time. That one releases on September 10th.
I'm not personally a huge WarioWare fan, but there is a big following and there's been a lot of demand for it. So I'm glad to see that this is coming out.
Yes.
That said, I'm a much bigger fan of Advance Wars. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp is a full remaster of Advance Wars 1 and 2, sort of featuring they're not quite sprites. It's like 2.5D, but rebuilt from the ground up for Switch. And it's basically a collection of the two.
Very nice. So then we have Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater.
I gave you this one just for you, Courtney.
Yeah, it releases later this year. I'm I'm worried about this one. If you put this in just for me,
Oh boy.
Sean.
All right, we'll talk about it later then.
Okay.
All right. Possibly the biggest news, Breath of the Wild 2. So we got new footage of different tools that Link will be using, as well as new locales. Seems like they're pulling some Skyward Sword stuff where you're going to be up in the sky and lots of like sky locations. They are aiming for a 2022 release. So not sure if that's going to mean holiday season 2022, spring 2022, not really sure. We'll probably get more information, later. They did specifically mention, aside from the next item that we have on the list, and Skyward Sword, which the remaster, which releases in July, there are no other planned Zelda titles for the 35th anniversary.
Okay.
Which seems there's a lot of opinions on that.
Well, I mean, they are doing the anniversary collection release of Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. So that will be coming out November 12th. So at least there's that for the anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it.
Mhm.
All right.
But that being said, that is the last of our announcements of just the quickfire news. So why don't we get into this deep dive?
Yes. All right. So why don't we pick right up with the sort of lack of Zelda stuff for the 35th anniversary. I have a feeling COVID probably threw a huge wrench in the works for this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of unhappy that there's not going to be more. Like, people were hoping for maybe like a collection, sort of like how we
I've
got
been
for the Mario one,
Mhm.
that we would
Yeah,
have gotten
I've
one
been
for the
seeing
Zelda
some
one.
collection. I've been seeing a lot of people who are saying like they wanted a collection or they thought one was coming, and I was like, yeah, I would actually love a collection of even just all the older games.
Well,
Like,
so what people were hoping for was, especially since they were done for the 3DS and the Wii U, are
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask remakes, as well as the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker remakes. In
Yep.
theory, uh, to just like update those and get them ported, since I mean
Mhm.
there's been a pretty strong history of just like porting Wii U stuff to Switch.
Yeah.
Like having whatever studio was doing those ports work on those, get them ported into a collection, and do that. I also don't know if sort of like Mario. I mean, Mario did it before Mario Day, quote unquote.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if it's a weird like fiscal year thing, but yeah, I mean the fact that we're not getting anything else and that it's kind of just Skyward Sword is leaving a bad taste in people's mouths. Um,
I
so
I mean, be happy you're getting something. Is like after COVID and everything, like so many games and so many like along with movies, so many games have been delayed. Um, so at least we are getting things coming out still.
yeah, Driz points out in the chat, maybe Breath of the Wild 2 aims to do a lot of anniversary DLC. So the problem is, by the time Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, uh, it's no longer the 35th anniversary because it's slated for next year. And it's this year is the 35th
Mhm.
anniversary. Yeah, for the anniversary, you get the most pan Zelda, not for the CD. Yeah, for most people, for a lot of folks, Skyward Sword remaster is basically a non-buy, especially with the whole amiibo controversy.
Yeah.
So so there is that. Um, that said, now Breath of the Wild 2. Uh, Link has
Breath of
some
the
kind of
Wild 2 is
cybernetic arm. I'm gonna move
yeah.
this back a little bit.
I have seen so much artwork about this. I've been like friends have been showing me this stuff. I've just seen it splattered all over Imager, like
Yeah,
because
so
there's been a lot of different
unclear if Link loses an arm, which seems kind of dark for a Nintendo game, or if it's sort of like oh, I'm trying to think. There's some fantasy property where it's like
like an addition on top of it,
it's a
kind of.
gauntlet, like it's essentially an arm's length gauntlet that allows you to
Yeah.
do stuff.
I don't know. Apparently from the video that I'd seen,
Oh,
like
I might be thinking of Winter Soldier. That's what I might be thinking of.
but from the video that I've seen, something happens to his right hand. Um in the video of the release, we don't really know what happens with that,
Yeah.
but maybe that is some sort of like merge of power or
Yeah, we don't know.
something. I don't know. The thing that really catches me off guard is watching him pop up out of stone like it's a river. Like just pop up like it's nothing. Like what? What is going on here? I mean, I know that it's a video game and I know that physics don't really mean much, but that's that's really cool and that's something that I've seen a lot of different people who've been writing about it and been like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool. What's it going to mean?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "It's going to mean that he has a power of some sort that lets him do it."
Yeah. Oh, also we are getting DLC for uh Hyrule Warriors. Um that also so so for that, Skyward Sword and the Game and Watch to be like basically the announcements along with Breath of the Wild 2, it was not
Mhm.
it was not well received. Uh
Yeah.
it was chat was even worse than usual. So anyway, sorry. I mean that said, the DLC for Hyrule Warriors looks pretty interesting in that it's all vehicles. Um
Ooh.
like Link gets a set of ancient guardian arms that he can flail around and then like turn into an ancient guardian. Um so there's
See, I
that.
just imagine now, see, that's hilarious that you say it like that, just flailing his arms around. Um, because I legitimately think wacky waving arm inflatable tube man
It's kind of
style.
like that. If the arms essentially they're like flails because they're metallic and they have big clawed spikes on the end of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah. So it's like holding a
Those
bar
sound
in the middle and then two of these like spiked flails in the end of it.
that sounds lovely.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. So what else do we want to talk? So Metroid Dread. Um,
Yes.
so Metroid Dread.
So
This
so many
takes
people are
place.
excited.
This takes place right after Metroid Fusion. Samus's like AI assistant is back in her computer. The whole point of this game is like there is a Federation robot that's like gone rogue and is
Mhm.
hunting Samus. And your
Really?
weapons can't harm it. It has something to do with like I don't know if it's just like that it went rogue and like killed everybody in the facility and um yeah that sort of thing, and now it's like scanning for any other unauthorized personnel. Um
Unauthorized personnel will be destroyed.
um and so like you'll come upon areas where it patrols in and it's like scanning the area, and if you make noise it um sets off its sensors, and then it starts going into like an active tracking mode where
Yeah.
it starts to home in on where you made the noise. And if you're
Oh,
visually
no.
spotted, then it goes into hunting mode or in like hunting pursuit mode where it relentlessly pursues you until you exit the area through a door in which it can't get through. It's also, if you get caught and you don't perform some sort of special counter, it is an insta kill.
That's just that's how rude.
It is meant to be rude and terrifying. And it does a pretty good job.
Rude.
I was watching
Like,
some gameplay on the Treehouse stream. Um,
yeah.
and yeah, it is stressful. But this is a two-dimensional two-dimensional Metroid game. It's not a Metroidvania because it is just straight up Metroid. Um, but it's got all the puzzle elements, the platforming elements, all the gadgets and
Nice.
cool gizmos and everything. Um, and they seem to do a pretty good job at going from 2D gameplay into sort of 3D, sort of first person cutscenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the way like the camera shifts and goes into like a first person view, an over the shoulder view or something, and like it's happened in other games where you could expect like that it's just a shift in gameplay, and then you realize, oh, it's a cutscene. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it is. The art style is amazing. The graphics look fantastic. The
Mhm.
trailer itself seemed to be of like a lower quality than when they were doing the Treehouse stream. So like the footage that they showed in the E3 and in the direct announcement didn't actually do the game justice compared to the live gameplay they were doing. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah. But
Wow.
so yeah, also super surprise announcement. This was supposed to be like a planned sequel to Metroid Fusion. Uh and then they encountered all sorts of difficulties. They couldn't get it right, so like they scrapped the project. And 19 years later, resurrected it and are releasing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's by October 8th, will it have been 20 years?
That I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
like,
not
because
sure.
that would be kind of mwah, just make it nice and even. Make it 20 years.
I
Yep.
mean, people are basically saying 2 decades because it's close enough.
It is close enough.
So yeah.
Yes. But
And that no footage or anything aside from like we're still working on Metroid Prime 4. Don't give up hope yet, folks. Uh,
yeah.
so all right. Mario Golf Super Rush.
Yes. So
So
how is golf? How do the words rush and golf get used in the same sentence?
okay, so there are a couple of different modes for this game. One of which
Okay.
is like speed mode, in which you are not taking turns with your fellow golfers. Like it's not
You are
everybody
just
takes a shot and then you move. It is whoever completes the hole fastest with the lowest score like gets bonus, like it gets Mario Kart style points.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you are trying to hit your shot as accurately and quickly as possible, and then literally running to where your ball is to try and outpace your opponents. And of course, because of that, there's like Mario Kart style power ups and dash pads and things on the course itself.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I can imagine how that would be fun.
In addition, there is a campaign mode which has RPG stats. So these stats are all golfing stats. So it's like spin, power, run speed, and
Yep.
things like that. That like they're stats that you can improve. You know, you get points to improve your
Yep.
stats as you complete holes and complete missions and everything. But it's not just straight up like, oh, you do a golf course type thing. There's like boss battles where you'll have to run around to different areas. So on the Treehouse stream, they showed it was in like a desert location. So you had a hydration meter. And so like you would lose water over time. And as you performed actions, it would also cost water. And it's basically, there's this big phoenix type creature that's like launching fireballs at you. And you have to go around looking for these, like basically electrical golf balls that you have to line up shots and hit the balls at to hit the phoenix.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In order to collect like some firestone that you need to access the ice world or something like that or whatever.
Okay. So half of this is golf, but the other half is golf and an obstacle course almost.
Yeah.
And boss battles that happen to have a golfing element.
Yes.
But not really. This isn't just now, can you play like if you gonna sound weird, but I'm sure there are some people who like to play like a nice casual game of golf.
Yeah, I think they just have like a casual
Like a
mode.
base. Yeah, like, not to it's one of those, where everyone's talking, everyone's talking and you just oh yeah, it's my turn to play golf now. Let's go. Cool, next person, we just keep it going.
Yeah. The game also it does support the gyro controls for the Joy-Cons. So you can use it like a Wiimote for Wii Golf back in the day on Wii Sports. Did I also mention campaign mode uses Miis? So you play as your Mii character.
Okay. I have to set up a Mii. But I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll actually be intrigued to see if that does include if it's supports online play.
I think it does, but let me just look really quick.
I know a lot of these different Mario style games do support it. Because I just think that that's hilarious to play golf over long distance with
4
each
players
other.
locally or online. It has asterisks.
Actually, it's something that I think if I were to ever get my parents a Switch or something, I would absolutely have to get this game for my stepfather.
Modes range from standard golf to speed golf and an exciting golf adventure.
Oh, fun.
Take it slow in standard golf, choose from 3 to 18 holes across 6 different courses. Intuitive controls and a shot gauge that adapts to the curve of the course make it easy for both new players and seasoned pros to drive and putt. Characters include Mario Golf veterans like Mario, Luigi, and Peach, but also characters like Pauline and Chargin' Chuck are going to make their debut.
Interesting.
So for those who don't know, Pauline is the damsel in distress from the original Donkey Kong game. Didn't show up at all like in other Mario games, except for the Mario versus Donkey Kong like toy game, like where you make little toys and you battle each other. And Mario Odyssey, where she shows up as the mayor of New Donk City. Chargin' Chuck first debuted in Super Mario World. He's a football Koopa. Like he's got a football
Oh
helmet and he
my.
kicks footballs around. So Nintendo being cheeky, having a football character, an American football character in your golf game. So yeah,
Interesting.
sports up to 4 players, local and online. So yeah, this may be a special birthday stream that I do, on the 26th, in lieu of Subnautica. So just throwing that out there. So yeah, let's see what else. What else was really interesting that we said we were going to? Oh,
why did you giggle at Fatal Frame?
So Fatal Frame is a game in which you photograph ghosts. So Maiden of Black Water is all about Japanese ghosts. So for those that are familiar with The Ring,
scary.
Imagine every ghost is that kind of ghost. Also, you can't see the ghosts unless you're using your camera.
Yeah,
which is first person.
All of that says no to me. Also,
Yep.
see, when people say Japanese ghosts, like, I do not initially think The Ring. Because I actually originally think when I was in high school, I took Japanese as my foreign language. Our sensei around Halloween, my freshman year, decided to show us a horror movie almost, that was Japanese. And part of that horror movie was the guy had to put kanjis all over himself so that the ghost couldn't see him.
Yep.
And he forgot to put them on his ears, and the ghost took his ears off.
Sorry, not The Ring, The Grudge, which is perhaps even worse.
Same difference.
It's literally the same kind of ghost, sort of. But it's the grudge. So The Ring just has like you die. Oh, it's the same franchise. Okay, that's why. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But it's the Grudge is the one that kind of introduces like the whole like crawling along the ground sort of a thing.
Yeah, that's so not for me.
Yeah.
So not for me.
Yeah. I saw this and I was just like, yeah, nobody's played this game. Everybody that was talking about it was like, yeah, I don't play spooky games.
I can imagine many people will love and enjoy this game. Yeah, movie. I imagine many people will love and enjoy this game. And if it's releasing later this year, I hope that they do put it on around Halloween, beginning of Q3, so that all of the people who like to be scared and like to play scary games, just like the same people who like to watch scary movies and horror flicks.
Oh, apparently this is a remaster from the Wii U.
Either way,
further evidence that we should be getting more stuff for Zelda.
They're going to enjoy it, and I'm going to be over there playing like something else fun. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, depending on the price point, I may be intrigued enough by the Xbox mini fridge.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. So it was a Wii U exclusive originally, and now it's coming to all consoles and PC. But yeah, just sometime later this year. Interesting. So let's see. Oh, so Mario and Rabbids. Yeah, so here's the big difference with this game is I don't know if it's still going to be turn-based, but they talk like it's not going to be grid-based movement because they showed a circular movement ring for the characters. But it's still going to have sort of the same gameplay. I mean, everybody's going to have little, cartoony laser guns, pew 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 pew.
Pew pew pew.
But yeah, the first game was great. If you have a Switch and haven't played it, and you're a fan of games like Command and Conquer, I think I have that right.
I have no clue.
I might not. It's XCOM. That's what I'm thinking of. XCOM, not Command and Conquer.
There we go.
Where you're using like a lot of cover, turn-based move, like tile-based movement, and like line of sight mechanics. very D&D like for, it would be
Okay.
like modern D&D for people that are used to playing like tabletop, like with minis and stuff, a lot of movement, cover mechanics and things. Um uh the Smash Brothers announcement, this was great. So apparently, so in Tekken, like Kazuya dies when his dad throws him into a volcano. So the
Oh no.
reveal was Kazuya is carrying, like, it just shows Ganondorf like dead, being carried by somebody in like a volcanic environment, and then they reveal
Yeah.
that it's Kazuya, and he throws Ganondorf into the volcano, and then
Ooh.
they announce that it's like Kazuya and everything, and then they just keep showing him bringing more characters that have been deceased, that have been
Oh
killed, and just throwing them
no.
into the volcano, and he does it like 4 or 5 times to the point that it becomes a meme. And then the last one is Kirby, which has not been offed, but he's just like, going like, wee, 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 wee. And you're like, no, not Kirby. And then he throws Kirby, and then you realize, oh wait, Kirby can fly. And he flies up behind him and everything. And it's like, Sakurai would never let Kirby die. He can't.
Yeah.
Kirby is Sakurai's favorite boy. Um, uh-oh. Lights go out? Oh. Huh. Or I just
Uh-oh.
never turned it on. I don't know. Um,
What?
so yeah, one of my ring lights. I don't know. I don't know
Ah.
if it went out or if I just never turned it on.
I don't think you turned it on because I think the door got closed.
I think
And that's
I
what.
must have tried to turn it on and didn't. So,
Ah.
Psychonauts, again, another game um, that has been awaiting a sequel for a long time. So that was very exciting.
I'm really looking forward to watching gameplay of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
Yeah, so
I'm
this is it's kind of like, I mean, the feel that they gave. I don't know if they actually showed any real gameplay in the
Yeah.
footage.
Mhm.
Uh but it you get the feeling that it's like Skyrim but Avatar.
Yep, and I like watching Skyrim.
Yeah.
I greatly enjoy watching those games, even though I cannot physically, my brain cannot wrap around being able to play them.
Yeah.
I very much do enjoy watching those games. Um, and so that and I'd like to be able to watch I would very much like to watch some of this wizard with a gun. Like wizards with guns.
That actually looked really fun.
No, like I wanted like so can you give me a little bit of more of like logistic like gameplay? Like is this first person, third person, look like a rotating camera, fixed camera? Like what did we kind of see of that? Also I'm not sure I like the idea of a fully multiplayer sandbox. Um Unless it's just gonna be like Minecraft and you make your own little server and
So um its art style made a lot of people think of Don't Starve.
okay.
Um I'm not sure how I can put it up on screen. But it's got a very like almost like hand-drawn like comic books art style to it.
Oh,
Um
nice.
the description on Steam is Wizard with a Gun. It's an online cooperative sandbox survival game set in a magical wilderness wrought with dangerous creatures and arcane mystery. So it's a cooperative multiplayer.
Okay.
Okay,
All
it's
right.
it's
I like
not it's not
cooperative.
Fallout 76. It's co-op
No, that
sandbox. Uh, Embark on a journey alone or with friends to collect, craft, and outfit your wizard however as you see fit to explore the unknown.
okay. So it's a game that you can play with friends. But again, it's not like 76 where
Yeah.
it demands that you play with friends or strangers. Do not
No,
make me
you
have
you
friends to
can
play
you
video
can
games.
play it solo.
Yes. Do not require me to have friends to play a video game. That's why I play video games. I don't have many friends.
Yeah. I'm
And we're
also
all
trying to
adults and we all have
see
adult schedules.
um Tunic was also talked about. Remember that game that we talked about like in 2017 or 2018 maybe, the little fox,
Yeah.
the it like make it isometric Zelda but with a fox.
I
There's
do
apparently a
vaguely.
demo out until June 21st on Xbox.
Oh man, too bad. I'm a Switch household, soon to be a Switch and PlayStation household.
So yeah. Um ultimately uh I mean, great that there's a demo out. Like none of the footage really looked all that different.
Yeah.
So, there's that. Um but yeah, I mean, it's glad apparently it's also like a one-person project. So it's another Stardew Valley type thing.
Oh,
Stardew Valley and
nice.
Phasmophobia, so like a one-person studio.
Yeah.
Um
Still no word on Witchbrook, by the way. I have been keeping an eye on that,
ah
which is which is the Stardew Valley like. It's
So
basically
Witchbrook is Chucklefish, but not Concerned Ape.
yes.
So
Yes, I was just getting there.
yeah,
Yes, it is Chucklefish, but not Concerned Ape, but it is very similar to Stardew in art style-ish. But it's basically wizard school.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
and they're still working on that.
Also, Sea of Thieves. I mean, the DLC announced for Sea of Thieves absolutely blew me away. Like, I did
And now
not
you said that,
expect
and that's
Disney
free
to go.
DLC?
It's free DLC for anybody that owns the game. Which, like, that's
Yeah.
as far as I know, it's a game that you buy, and then like, there's no membership subscription fee or anything.
Not to the
Um,
best of my knowledge.
So I did not expect Disney. Like, number one, like, it makes sense from like a branding perspective. Like, yeah, it's kind of the biggest pirate game that's out right now.
Oh,
Why not get it
absolutely.
on that? The art style matches pretty well with Disney Infinity. So like,
Yep.
you kind of had models that looked similar that you could recreate them in a different engine. Um, but I mean, I've been wanting to play Sea of Thieves for a long time, and what's been keeping me from it is that, like Cordy, I don't really have a lot of people to play multiplayer games with. I may just say screw it and play it alone for this DLC. So you got me. Mission accomplished, Disney. Mission accomplished. I will say also I played the Pirates of the Caribbean MMO when it was a thing, back in 2008, uh, and kind of miss there being like a game like that. And Sea of Thieves is like the closest thing. Um, so I'm kind of pumped. That and it
Yeah.
releases next week, so sort of like the surprise announcement stuff from Nintendo. This was sort of like, yeah, we're doing this giant, massive DLC patch with Disney, and it's coming not quite tomorrow, but you get the
And
idea.
it's coming. Well, I mean, yeah, because sometimes those Nintendo Directs have stuff that's available right then before the Direct even like launches. It's available, and it's like, oh, okay.
Hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, there's
I
a
think there
lot of
were
games on
there,
here.
there were a couple of indie games where they did that, where it was like they announced it and it was like, and it's available today.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot on here that I am looking forward to either like watching you play some, Sean, or watching like some other plays on like some other Twitch streamers.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, here's one more thing. So Mario Party.
yeah.
I have to say I'm a little disappointed. And by a little, I mean I'm understating my disappointment. Uh, that they are just going to release a whole separate game with that's just boards from the N64 games and existing mini games, and not just make it DLC for Super Mario Party,
Oh,
which
yeah.
only has the 5 boards,
Yeah. I'll give you that.
and many of them are not great. Like,
And also, do they know how many of those older boards are coming? Because this says a collection
well,
of
I just put a
favorite
collection.
boards.
That's because I so this is what happens when I try and take notes furiously while they're doing a direct.
Yeah.
So it's 5 classic boards from the N64 Mario Party games,
Okay.
and 100 classic mini games from the N64 and GameCube games.
Yeah, that could have been DLC. I would have even paid for that DLC. Like
Right?
expansion pass or
It's
something.
all $60 American.
I was gonna say, yeah, I would pay 30 American dollars,
Right?
maybe catch it at a sale on 40. I might go up to 40. But
Like, yeah, I feel like also they put too much like, as much as I like the bizarre rafting mode in Super Mario Party, like it would have made more sense to just do more boards and
yeah.
more mini games, or just porting again existing boards and mini games, updating them
Mhm.
for the new game and having that in there instead of like building out this whole other mode or the weird like dance mode. I don't know. There are a lot of
Yeah.
weird ideas in that game.
I mean, and I like games like Mario Party like I like Mario Party games. Um I know a lot of people are like, I don't like it. It's too slow or
Everyone likes Mario Party until the game ends, and then nobody likes Mario Party.
no, but you like it during it, and that's the part that I care about.
Yeah, but nobody likes how Mario Party ends. Nobody.
No, and that's why you just turn it off.
Yeah, but then nobody wins, Courtney.
But then nobody loses either. And nobody arbitrarily wins who gets the most, and then like the point distribution gets weird and stuff like that. Like nobody likes that. Nobody likes that.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
integral to the essence of the game.
Okay.
Um,
Sure.
and just last bit of news. So Guardians of the Galaxy is coming to Switch. So
Yes.
there are some concerns about how well it's going to run. Because it looks like a very big, flashy, sort of like Marvel Avengers. That
I would
game that
imagine
everybody
it would look
panned.
really good when it's docked.
Maybe. Doom Eternal is also coming to Switch.
Mhm.
There's also a lot of concerns about how that's going to look. Um, so just saying. And then
But yeah,
Advance Wars is going to be great. I'm super pumped for that. I was a big fan of the originals. I have the originals somewhere.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, these are turn-based strategy games. It's made by the same people, Intelligent Systems, that do Fire Emblem.
Oh. Oh, so it's
So,
that style of oh.
yes and no. So
Yeah.
it's turn-based strategy. So you have units on a
Yep.
map, but you don't
Yep.
have hero characters. Like you have a commander, but what all
Yeah.
your commander is they provide like a power that you can use. Um,
Yeah.
and your units will have health. Sort of like
Mhm.
Civ, right? How you have, like you send a
Oh,
unit
yeah.
of warriors out, and as
Yep.
they lose HP, they lose warriors in their group, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like that, and it's got,
Mhm.
circa early 2000s, Game Boy Advance style graphics.
I mean, because I really, really like the Fire Emblem Three Houses battle mode. Like, it's easy for me to understand.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, modern military units sort of a thing. So I mean, they'll have
Yeah.
things like anti-aircraft counters aircraft.
Mhm.
Battleships can attack 3 to 5 squares away.
Yeah.
Carriers can carry aircraft but have no defenses of their own. Transport trucks can carry units, but they also have, they can't attack on their own. Uh,
Yeah.
all of your units that are vehicles run on gasoline, and so you need to
Yep.
have a refueler to refuel them up because
Mhm.
otherwise they can't move. Um,
Yep.
so things like that. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah. Also, it's
For
got a
people
poppin'
who
soundtrack.
yeah, so for people who really like that style of game,
Mhm.
that should be really nice to be able to have that coming out.
Yeah. It's been a popular request. A lot of people think that because Advance Wars is getting a reboot or a remaster, that we may see Golden Sun as well. So also not mentioned, Shin Megami Tensei 5. So for those that don't know, this is sort of the parent franchise for Persona.
Okay.
Which is weird. Like Persona, was a spin-off of this franchise and then became more popular.
Yeah.
With a name like Shin Megami Tensei, I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
But it's basically the same thing where like you're a student and you have to fight the forces of heaven and hell to fight God.
Because of course students should be asked to do that.
Former podcast host Josh York, right up his alley. But yeah. So, I may take a look at it. It would be my first game in the series. I may not. I don't know. It's an RPG, but I'll have to see more about it and what else I got on my plate.
Yeah.
Got to play that golf RPG. Listen, you stick RPG mechanics on something, and now suddenly my interest is like grown tenfold.
Golf.
I think golf RPGs fall under the same thing of like fishing RPGs, where like because it's meant to be a very relaxing, methodical activity, that there's something intrinsic about it. Like golf and fishing kind of hit the same notes.
Yep.
Of like realistic golf games are not as fun as like arcade golf games.
Yes. I'm with you on that. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then when you add, RPG progression mechanics, boom, there you go, instant win.
Oh yeah. Boom, you have just sold yourself a game. There you are, and we will never hear from Sean again because he will be falling in love with that game.
Yeah. At least until here's the problem: is it comes out the same day as the Monster Hunter Stories demo. So
yeah.
So there's that. Because also Monster Riding / collection RPG. That's also kind of my
very
jam.
high up on your list.
And the fact that it's Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Also, Palamutes are a monster that you can recruit in the game.
Yes.
So if you don't want big scary monster, you can just have Doggo.
Yes.
Yep. Not Monster Doggo, just regular Doggo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, no Palicos?
No. Typically Palicos are just like major NPC. Like there's a Palico who's a member of your party, but not because here's the other is Palicos aren't rideable. So these are all rideable monsters.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
That is fair when distinctions are being made.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've. One final thought, and this isn't about any of the games specifically, but there's kind of a huge controversy right now with Nintendo and E3, where like 10 minutes before the broadcast, Nintendo of Japan posted a tweet saying like basically you can't mirror the stream. And that sent everybody into a panic because up until that point, Twitch's whole deal was it was allowing streamers to like restream E3 with their audience and do like a watch party type thing.
Yeah.
And like Twitch was actively encouraging that.
Yeah.
So nobody knew what that meant. And none of the other Nintendo offices, like regional offices, like retweeted that or reposted that message.
Yeah,
despite the fact that Twitch everybody was pressing for information because there was a legitimate concern that if you restreamed their broadcast either on YouTube or on Twitch, that you were going to get hit with a DMCA strike.
Yeah.
And so there were all these methods of like, some people were trying to do weird, funky stuff to color filters and everything or whatever. Some people were like, well, if I just mute the stream and then delete the VOD afterward, like, so there is no record of it having been streamed before.
Yeah, there was a lot of scurrying, and it was really, really close to it. And that was like, I remember reading a story about that where everyone was freaking out, and they were like, well, maybe it was just for Japan, and because none of the other regional offices had shared it or anything, and like nobody was really sure. Everybody was kind of freaking out because, of course, they drop it at the 11th hour, you know. Um, so Sean, were you able to figure out what came from that real quick?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Um,
Like, yeah, because
I don't know.
everybody was trying to scramble and be like, well, if you really, if we didn't know this until 10 minutes before, like, how are we supposed to change this? Because watching these types of streams has become very, very popular. Being able to watch things that are being live streamed from your favorite streamers, and seeing their original, initial, unedited reactions, um, is nice.
Yeah.
We like seeing
And it's
the
basically even like Twitch put up a tweet saying like, because of this, we're not going to broadcast it. Like Twitch wasn't
yeah,
broadcasting it
yeah, because I saw that, like, because Twitch even does it,
because Twitch
then
Gaming was broadcasting all of the E3 streams and announcements. And they said,
yeah,
because of this, like, we're not going to do it. There doesn't seem to have been any follow up.
yeah,
So still unclear.
yeah,
Uh, and it also is different than Nintendo's policy in the past where they've allowed co-streaming. So
yeah.
nobody knows if this was a weird just Japanese Japan only thing. My apologies for the stutter on that, by the way. Since I know that shortened word is a not a great word.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
but a Japanese thing, like with fair use.
If it was just a
Um,
restriction in Japan, or if it was, yeah.
um, and whether like it actually applies outside of Japan.
Mhm.
Um, or if in fact like it was company wide and is supposed to apply globally. Nobody knows.
Mhm.
Not even major media outlets are like, yeah, we kind of just found it like we can't stream it, but like I do not know what like IGN did. Like I don't know if they
Oh,
had
yeah.
special permission to or something as a media
Yeah,
outlet, but I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
It's all a mess.
That's what you
Um
get when you get last minute announcements.
and like I don't understand like if it's the case where they were allowing co-stream like either way there should have been clarification from regional offices,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
clear communication. So
Mhm.
that's a big mark against Nintendo for this.
Yeah.
um this is the case where it's like it's copyright doesn't even really apply here. Like it's I don't know.
I don't know, and it makes my head hurt trying to make sense of it
Like
and think of it, and
this is a case where nobody is going to be confused as to what it is. So like a
yeah.
question of trademark doesn't apply. Like
Not
everyone
at
knows
all.
it's
Not at all.
Nintendo. Everyone knows
Yeah.
where the source is coming from. Everyone knows what it's about. And also,
Yeah.
it's a PR announcement. Like it's a whole PR push. Like it's
Yeah,
not
it's almost like a news briefing.
yeah.
Like,
And
it's press conference, there we go, that's the word I was looking for.
its
Like
copyright was intended for, works of cultural significance. Um
mhm,
I say this as someone that is more on the technical side of art and on the trade side of doing, illustration and design work and stuff like that. Listen, E3 announcements. That's you're going to be hard pressed to quantify that as like a work like a Nintendo Direct video being something of cultural significance that is worth preservation.
Yeah.
Not so much. The individual works themselves that are being promoted, yes, but like the promotion
Yeah.
itself, yeah.
It's like a commercial for a TV show, like that's being aired at a certain thing.
Yeah.
Like
It's well, the other question is like
the commercial, no. The show that it is promoting, yes.
yeah. Here's the other
But
thing. It might be a case of like it is in fact the corporate policy, which is meant to be a global policy. But it would be up to regional offices to prosecute, and regional offices may just be like, yeah, we're not touching that with a 10-foot pole. We're not going to say we're not going to, but we're not going to.
yeah.
So I don't know. It's frustrating. It is frustrating.
I'm just definitely frustrated and surprised that the regional offices had no discord, like no knowing really what was going on and how to respond to that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not surprised. Like, it's Nintendo. They do all sorts of weird, nonsensical stuff regarding copyright, and people, streamers and influencers and content creators and stuff, like basically using footage to promote the very thing to like garner more interest
Yeah.
in it. I'm not surprised that Nintendo put up a post saying like you can't co-stream this or whatever.
Yeah.
I am surprised that like that one tweet from the corporate office in Japan wasn't reshared out to regional offices or clarified
Yeah.
from regional offices, because that's something that you would expect from a brand,
Yeah,
for
you would
clarity.
yeah.
Because the other thing was like it was in Japanese.
Mhm.
The tweet was in Japanese, so you had to
Yeah.
rely on people translating the tweet to figure out what was being said.
Yeah.
Which further lends it to that it's probably that likely
It was
there was no issue, and it was just people that they're so used to Nintendo causing problems with this stuff
yeah.
that they're just like, well, I'm not going to deal with it then because
Mm.
we don't know. There's no clarity on it. So anyway,
Yeah.
I don't want to rant about it anymore. We do
Okay.
have a quick quest log to get through, so let's do that. All right, so quest log is where we talk about what sort of geeky goals we have accomplished over the past week,
Yeah.
and what sort of geeky goals we're setting ourselves for the upcoming week, to take those quests and put them in our quest book.
Yes. Yes.
So, I think I may have failed to actually update my goals.
Oh no.
I can't remember. So last week, did I say I was going to work on the Wildlands section of Jamora last week?
I remember you saying
Or
that
did I
was
say
the
that I
next.
did work on it last week?
I remember you said that, yeah, because the Wildlands was the last. Yes, that is what you worked on last week.
Okay.
Yes.
So unfortunately, so what did I say that I was going to work on then?
I remember.
Oh dear.
No, I think you had finished Bronner, I think.
Or it would have been Kazdal. Bronner's
Kosdal,
been done
yes,
for a while.
that's what it
Okay.
was.
So in that case, if that is the case,
Mhm.
then we're good.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back through I would have to open up last week's episode and listen through, and I'm not going to do that on stream and everything.
Yes, because last week you had in your quest log to work on Wildlands. So changing it to this week's
Okay.
of working on, um, yeah,
All right.
last
Well,
week you had work on Wildlands.
uh,
Well, what are we gonna do this upcoming week
I don't
then?
know. So I don't even know what I've completed. Uh, I don't think I've completed anything. It's been a tough week.
It's been a very tough week, and it's been a very it's been a very interesting week, and the week's not over yet. Um, but did you color a comic, Sean?
I do not believe I did.
Did you
I'm
make a
pretty
TikTok
sure I
video?
completed 0 out of 3. I have not made a new TikTok video since the one I posted about gritty games, which I
Okay.
think we talked about last week. So unfortunately, no.
All right.
So,
There's always
so
next week.
I'm not joking when I said I haven't really worked on stuff. It's also I've been playing Littlewood on Switch. So that's been sucking up all of my free time. Um, it has that very addictive Stardew
Yeah.
uh, gameplay loop, and the
Yep.
problem is it's not timed the way Stardew is, and because I'm not doing it on a stream, I'm not saying no, I can't play it. I have to save it for the stream.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just eating up all my time.
Plus,
All right, so
that whole, being a father and a husband thing also,
yeah, that whole stuff. So color chapter 1 comic, make TikTok video. Actually, I'm gonna add in something here that my goal is to do every week is to make sure that I do some fan art for Fan Art Fridays.
Cool. Yeah.
Um,
That sounds very fun.
so the question is I don't know what to do. So why don't we solicit some feedback here? So what do you think, Courtney?
Personally, the thing that comes to my
So
mind,
I did Kiri from Critical Role Campaign 2 last week.
yeah, I was thinking of them all as corgis. That's what just came to
All of
my
who is
mind.
corgis? All of the Mighty Nine is corgis?
Yes.
That's been done before.
And a little Essek one floating.
That's been done before.
I don't know, between that or something with Trinket because I feel very yeah.
I mean,
Something with Trinket.
I did a Critical Role fan art last week, so I don't know if I want to do one this week.
How
There's
about
so many different things that I could do.
I mean, yeah, you could do something Doctor Who, you could do something Back to the Future.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? We should do something related to E3.
Yeah,
We
there
should
we
do something
go.
for E3.
I still say Corgi should be involved in it.
No.
Why not?
Corgis are your thing.
Corgis are adorable.
Um
They're adorable little floafs, and I love them. But
yeah, you know what? Let's do some fan art with uh Metal Arm Link. Let's
there
do
we
that.
go. There we go. Yes.
All right. So, here's what we do is we're going to make this policy. Going forward in the show notes, the stuff that is in Questlog that we write out is the stuff that we do for next week.
Got it. And it is considering mine is a lot of continuations these days, but yes.
Yeah, you cheat. Your stuff's just ongoing.
It is ongoing, but to be fair, my part now, I did a very good job this past week with getting through the beginning parts of winter to the beginning of the night market so I could get all of my spring seeds that I needed so I could get things for cooking, and I got them and I planted them, and I already gotten all the fish, but I also got my ostrich egg. It is
There you go.
incubating. It is incubating right now because I had to because and now that I know the sequence of events that has to happen to do it, um I just have to be able to repeat that on my Switch game and other stuff like that. But yes, I got the incubator and then I finally found the secret note for it and I went and I dug up the egg and I made sure I had all of the ingredients for the incubator, went home and put the egg in the incubator that I made. So it is incubating. I have 3 dinosaurs and 1 in the incubator and I will soon have ostrich eggs.
There you go. Courtney, what are
And
you going to do when you don't have any more Stardew goals?
I will find more.
Okay.
I will find more.
Okay.
Like there's always something to buy.
All right. But what if there isn't? What if you
Then
run
I
out of
start a new
things?
farm.
Oh, jeez.
Then,
Then you just start
then I
over
start a
and
new farm and I start again.
oh boy. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Oh
I will
yeah.
say also is I have been doing like physical exercise more often, which does take up some amount of time.
Very nice.
So doing Ring Fit Adventure and going for walks and stuff.
Mhm.
And also doing advanced dental care as well. So
That is yeah.
these things take time.
Yes, they do.
So
But yeah,
all right.
my
I
that's
think
but that's what I've got and that's what I've got going because I really can't put anything that requires much more time because all of my time is already spent before I even have it.
okay.
So,
All right. So on that note, let's wrap things up. Oh, we lost Courtney. There we go. She's back. So
yeah.
let's wrap things up before we have any more
Yeah.
technical glitches on Courtney's side of things. Thank you all for joining us, everybody. If you'd like to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out 8-bitadventures.com. Over there, you can find the 8-Bit Adventures comic. You can find my artwork, VODs of the streams, as well as all of our podcasts. If you'd like to help support that content, you can do so over at patreon.com/8bitadventures. Thank you and shout out to all of our current patrons. So I know stuff's been tough. Times have been tough. But I want to thank you all for your continued support in whatever level, whatever manner that you can give it in. Every little bit helps. So thank you for that. And finally, our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And that's it. Show's over. You're still here? Go on home. That's a wrap, folks. So, as always, have fun, happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.
Bye everybody.